what's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. We're on a 15-2 run. It was an amazing run, 15-0, and then the last 2 days have been two losers. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened yesterday very quickly, and then I do have one very strong play in the NBA again. It's pretty much the two best plays on the board, in my opinion. I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm going to go with it. And then also I want to talk about the NFL because there's some important stuff in the NFL that you have to be aware of. I'll give you exactly what I'm looking at for this week. And then I'll tell you so you guys can make your own decisions there, or maybe I'll put out a pick later in the week. I do want to appreciate you. We crossed 3,000 subscribers as of the day before yesterday. And then we're also getting about 90 to 100 people subscribing per day. So I really do appreciate that very much. Please make sure you also check out the link in the description for the free picks. Also make sure you click on subscribe. All right, so like I mentioned, I'm going to go through this very quickly. So the Rockets and the Suns pretty much kept it very close. And then at the end, Durant ended up hitting a three-pointer. And then Booker did not hit that three. So they ended up winning by 3 right at the buzzer. Then I actually did say that there was a risk with taking the 76ers because they had a 33% hit rate at home. I'm a very high-risk tolerant person. I guess I should have mentioned that. But I also did say that if you want to stay away from it, then you should go ahead and stay away. But unfortunately, they did not win. They went into overtime. They were losing the game pretty much from what I saw. I didn't watch the whole game, but from what I saw, they were losing the game. And then they came back and actually tied it, went into overtime, and then they lost by 1. So it was a tough loss. All right, so now we move on. This is the Sharp Edge tool. If you want access to this, it's 15 days for free on that. And basically, this is the way I start my research every day. So the first thing I want to look at is the dashboard. You can see it's got the NBA right here. This is all the analysis, the sharp plays, and the dashboard. Other thing here is the line move tool. I'm going to give you 2 legs on one parlay that seems very, very strong today. So right here, I'm not going to go with all of these, but if you want to check these out, it's going to be the Spurs and the Grizzlies. You can see they started at a 234. They went all the way up to 238. So that's a 4-point line movement on the over. Then you got the Cavaliers and the Pacers. This is called the line move tool. It's inside the Sharp Edge, and it's basically literally just telling you where the books are adjusting their lines to. So it'll tell you like how many points it moved on the over, the under, or the spread. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but look at this. Cavaliers is 237 and went down to a 235. Lakers, it went from a 229 to a 241. This is a massive 12-point move. Even though the money and the betting is pretty much split, the Lakers went up 12 points, which is crazy. All right, next thing after that, I like to take a look at, it's one of the first steps I do is the back-to-back report. And today there's actually no games that are back-to-back. So somebody did say in the comments that it's a very stale play to look at the back-to-back, but that is not my only thing that I'm doing. I'm actually stacking one thing on top of the other. So if you don't understand what the hell I'm doing here, I know he was trying to get followers and trying to get talk shit to me so that he can get followers, which is whatever. That's to each his own. But I'm not only doing back-to-back, okay? I'm doing all sorts of different things to stack one on top of the other. And if everything makes sense after that, then that's when you place your bets. So anyways, projections show Cavaliers should win. Magic should win by 8. Spurs should win by 3. Timberwolves should win by 2. Lakers should win by, 3. And then the Mavericks should win by 5. Those are just projections. So now the next thing I want to look at is the sharp plays. So basically this is it tells you a rationale on why you should be looking at these teams. So for example, right here, it's saying the Kings at a +5.5, the Heat at a +5.5, the Cleveland Cavaliers on the under 236, and then the Lakers at a -5.5. Now, if you scroll over it, it'll actually tell you how confident the AI system is thinking that this is. So this is a very moderate. I don't touch very moderates. You can see these are very high, 8, 7.5, and a 6.5. Okay, so it also, whenever there's a green dashboard right here, that means that it's a stronger play to look at. Again, those are not final plays. This is literally just AI identified leans based on team records, betting trends, and line movement. Do your own research. Now, before I continue, guys, I'm going to give you the hot streaks, meaning the players that are doing very good right now. These are not our final plays. These are just players that are hitting their line on a hot streak, okay? So, for example, here, I'm not going to go through all of these. Take a screenshot if you want on these. I'm going to give you the points, rebounds, and assists the anytime touchdowns, and the shots on goal. If you guys want to see any other props that I'm not posting here, for example, this points, rebounds, and assists, let me know. And if enough people tell me in the comments which one they want, and then, if people upvoted and stuff like that, then I'll actually start putting those out there as well. Anyways, the points, rebounds, and assists, you can see Max Christie right here has hit this 18.5 straight games in a row. Now, for the anytime touchdowns, you got Christian McCaffrey. He's hit 6 touchdowns. Jennings has hit 5. Kittle has hit 2. Henry has hit 2. And Mike Evans has hit 2. The shots on goal, I'm not going to go through these at all, but look at this guy, Dawson Mercer. He has hit this line 9 straight games in a row. Now, obviously, you want to do your own research. Like I've said, these are not our final plays. These are just very strong streaks on players that have been hitting their line. Today, just a side note, if you want to, you look at the Sabres team, because a lot of them came up for shots on goal for me for today on the Sabres. Last thing I'll mention is a lot of players came up from Minnesota for today to get their PRA line as well. So the first game I want to look at is going to be the Cavaliers and the Pacers. Both teams are missing a lot of players. I'll show you the injury report on that. But right now, if you do the math, right here is 119 and 114. That's a 233 number. The line did drop very slightly here. It started at 237. It's currently at a 236. This is still showing 237 because this ran earlier in the day, but it currently dropped only 1 point. You can also see right here, 70% of the bets, 75% of the money is coming in on the over. So this is actually a reverse line move coming in on the under, very slight. So this is actually going to be a very ugly game. Look at the Pacers. They've hit this line 0% of the time. The only thing here, there's a contradiction. It says the Cavaliers have gone on the over 66% of the time in the last 6 games. However, that doesn't account for all the injuries. I'm not going to get deeper into this, but if you start doing the math over here, points per game is 120. Points per game over here is 113. Again, that still equals 233, which is lower than the 237. So the math adds up to be on the under already. Look at all these injuries, especially right here, Donovan Mitchell. He's missing. Strus is missing. Allen is missing, or he's questionable, I should say. But they do have a lot of injuries on this side and so over here as well. So like I mentioned in the beginning, both teams are missing key players. I'm not taking the line of 236. I'm actually going to tell you exactly which line I'm taking. I'm going to show you my slip so you can see exactly what number I'm going at. But let me give you the second leg now. So the second leg of this is going to be, I'm actually kind of surprised that this came up because we've been fading the hell out of the Kings. But today we're actually going to take the Kings, and I'll tell you exactly what number we're taking. So the Mavericks only cover the spread 30% of the time. The Kings are not much better. They only cover the spread 40% of the time. The line is stuck at a plus 5.5, and the public is mixed. You can see 60% of the bets is coming in on Dallas, yet 60% of the money is coming in on Dallas. So there's a sort of a contradiction there with the public and the sharps and all that stuff. And then the books are not even adjusting to any of this stuff. Even though 60% of the money is coming in on the Kings, it's not adjusting. So that's not a good sign actually for the Kings, but I still like to play, and I'm going to tell you why. So like I mentioned over here, if you look at Dallas, they only cover the spread 30% of the time. And then when the Kings have played the Mavericks, obviously this is not accounting for the injuries. This is 6-4 for the Kings against the Mavericks. One very nasty thing I don't like is that the Kings are only 3-11. And as you've seen any of my other videos, we've been fading the hell out of them. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this, is that I don't like this at all as a money line, but I'm going to tell you exactly what we're playing it for. And it's enough of a spread purchase that it should hit. But this is a very key indication here that they've only covered the spread 21% of the time in their last 14 games at home. So now if we look over here, PJ Washington is doubtful and Kyrie Irving is out. So they do have very key players that are out. Over here, Sabonis is still out, but they did get back Levine. So Levine has been out, and that did affect a lot of their, why they've been losing and stuff like that, because he is one of their key shooters. Anyways, Sabonis is still out, but Kyrie Irving on this side is more impactful to Dallas. So again, guys, I'm going to give you the exact play that I'm taking. But first, I want to just mention, please make sure you take a second to make sure you subscribe. There's about 80% of you guys that watch the video think you're subscribed, but you're not. Take that extra second and click subscribe. Also, check out the free picks. We have about 50 people now, or maybe about 40 people in the Discord. We're sharing plays, we're sharing picks, we're sharing live information as it's happening. So check that out. Also check out the VIP so you can get all our plays. This is just from this morning. There's some stuff that still has to come up either for college basketball or NHL and stuff like that. This is just from this morning. There's, like I mentioned, there's shots on goal, there's points, rebounds, and assists. You would get all of this every day. So all my plays every single day, plus whatever my business partner throws out there, which he usually has NHL and college. Anyways, that's what's available for today. And like I said, you can check us out for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. Also, if you want the Sharp Edge tool, that's the tool that I walk through, and you get this for free for 2 weeks. And if you want to learn how we do this, how we come up with all these plays, and how we do analysis for all these teams and everything, check out where it says learn from us, and it's a free ebook. Just check that out. All right, guys, I'm about to give you the slip, and then I just want to mention I'm going to talk about the NFL. After that, it's going to be pretty short because there's only a few games to look at, in my opinion, but I'll give you the play now. So here's the play, guys. I'm taking the Sacramento Kings. I'm buying it all the way up to a plus 15.5. What this means is that if they lose by 16 points, we lose the bet. I highly doubt that the Mavericks have it in them to cover even the 5.5 spread. So getting the 16 with Levine back in the Kings, then that's a very solid play, in my opinion. So you got the Cavaliers also and the Pacers. We're buying that back about 11 points. And again, if you find that on FanDuel, it's about 150. I saw it much more expensive on DraftKings and stuff like that, but this is what I was able to get it at this morning. So that's another plus of being in VIP. You get these alerts. All right, guys, and as promised, this is what I'm looking at for the NFL for this week. This is not the final recommendation, but that's final for today. I'm looking at the Rams. I'll probably take this either at a -6.5 or something like that. You can see this has it at a 80% hit rate that it should be hitting. And this is a 23% difference on the defense. So the Rams have much better defense than the Panthers. And that's a 23 spot difference. So for example, if the Rams were number 1, the Carolina is 24th. That's an example. Also, the Packers here, they're going against the Bears. It's saying to take a look at the Packers at a plus 1.5, and it's saying that it's a reverse line move and that Love is back. So their quarterback is back. So again, you want to confirm all this stuff. This is very early in the week still. So just make sure you're able to check that out. And then the last thing to look at is here San Francisco and Philly, the under 45. And it says there's a 2-point drop and the 49ers defense is decimated, which actually doesn't help the under. But again, these are just leans. These are not final plays. So one final note, what I'll mention is I'm going to be in Miami at the Winnable Mansion. We're going to be watching all the football games, the wild card games this weekend on Sunday. So look out for our videos that I'm going to be posting in a mansion in Miami. Once again, guys, thank you guys for getting us to almost 3,100 subscribers. Let's make it 4,000. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day.